Hi everyone, and welcome to Book Booth. My name is Rachel, and welcome to another episode of Want to Read Recent Editions. If you haven't seen one of these videos before that I've made, I'm going to give you 10 different books that I have recently added to my Want to Read list on Goodreads. I've chosen books that I feel like people haven't heard of very much, or I personally haven't heard of very much. I left the really big books that most people have mentioned a whole bunch on BookTube off of this list and just mentioned the ones that I hadn't really heard of before and sounded interesting to me. So hopefully these are books you haven't heard of before either, and maybe you want to add to your 2021 TBR, who knows. So I'm going to list 10 books for you here. I'm going to give very kind of basic descriptions. I don't know a whole lot about these books because I never read them, but I kind of wrote very brief synopsis for these books just to kind of give you a tiny little bit of what these books might be about. And let's go ahead and jump in. All right, I'm going to be referencing my notes here, so I'll be looking away a little bit. And I also will hold up some pictures for you of the covers so you can see what they look like, because these covers are gorgeous. The first one that I'm going to mention today is called In the Nightwood by Dale Bailey. First of all, look at that. That is gorgeous. So pretty. There's another cover for this too that is just as gorgeous. It's dark and it's got this really pretty, like, creepy looking house on it. It's beautiful, but I really like this one too. It's got a nice hand-drawn look to it. So in this story, here's what I wrote. Failed man attempts to write a biography about a legendary Victorian children's author. Really, it's reality and fiction bleeds together. We're following this guy. He's writing a biography about a children's author. He ends up staying in the home that the children's author used to own in Victorian London. And apparently he starts to find out that maybe this sort of fairy tale-ish children's story isn't really much of a story after all. I think he ends up going into this wood that the story is called. Not the Nightwood is the name of like the children's story, and he finds out like maybe it's not as fiction as he thought. Sounds really interesting. It sounds kind of dark. Sounds maybe a little creepy, some magical realism going on. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's an adult book, and I think it's going to be fun. So I'm interested to jump into it. I think it's going to be really, really cool. So this next one sounds like it's definitely going to be a thriller, and quite unlike anything else I've ever read. And it's called Sweetpea by C.J. Skuse? I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Apologies if I butchered that really, really bad. This one is about a girl next door murderer. So in this one, we're following this girl nicknamed Sweetpea. I think she's this girl that's she's the girl next door. She's the girl that kind of blends in. Nobody thinks she could do anything bad. And apparently she has a kill list. She's writing down a list of people that she doesn't like and wants to murder. And then I think in this book, she actually does, and then sees if she can get away with it because she's the girl next door no one would suspect. Sounds creepy, demented, and wonderful, and I'm excited about it. So this is definitely sounds thrillery, but I'm assuming in the perspective of the murderer herself. So good times. I think this one will be really interesting and maybe a little bit fun in a sadistic way. Don't judge me. All right, the next one sounds like it's going to be kind of a Victorian-y style one. Let me see if I can find, there it is. It is called The Unforgetting by Rose Black. Again, another gorgeous cover. And this one, it is set in the mid-1800s. A girl's death is faked so she can be used as a ghost in illusions. Apparently her father sells her to this illusionist to pay off some debt, and the illusionist like puts an obituary in the paper and fakes her death so people think that she's dead, and then using her as a ghost to scare people and to make people believe that his illusions are real. Sounds like a good time. I like a mix of kind of ghostiness, but then it's like real ghostiness, but not, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it other than it just sounds like a good time. And I like reading books that are set in the 1800s, that kind of that time period when people were really, really interested and almost kind of like obsessed with the idea of ghosts and spirits and communicating with the dead. I just think it's really fascinating. So I think this one's going to be a good time. Why not? You're going to notice that a lot of these books have some kind of spooky element to them because that's my favorite type of thing. This next one sounds like a fun thriller, and I adore this cover. I think it is so pretty. It is called White Fox by Sara. And in this story, we are following daughters of a famous actress who investigate her mysterious death through a lost screenplay called White Fox. Sounds really fascinating. I think it's supposed to be quite twisty-turny. I like good investigative stuff. I don't know maybe their mother died mysteriously. Not sure, but it sounds like a good time. And the cover makes it look kind of creepy. So let's do it. That sounds like a good time. All right, this next one, let's delve into a little bit more of a fantasy feel. I think this one is a middle grade, I believe, and it is called Cinders and Sparrows by Stefan Bachmann. That cover is gorgeous. I think it's just lovely. You can never go wrong with middle grade covers. It's about a young girl who inherits a castle and finds out she's a witch. There's a There's a magic school, can't talk, with possible chosen one tropes. Who doesn't want a magic school? Also, who wouldn't just like one day to be like, get a letter and be like, hey, by the way, you just inherited a castle. I'll be like, sweet. So this sounds like fun. Sounds magical, sounds exciting. I like the witchy vibes. I like the magical school vibes. Yeah, that sounds perfect. All right, this next one, let's delve back into the 1800s, why don't we? And delve into another book that sounds like it's supposed to be creepy, and it is called The Silent Companions by Laura Purcell. This is one I have heard on BookTube a little bit, and I've been wanting to read for a long time. And in this story, I believe, again, it's a Victorian ghost story about a young widow living in her late husband's estate. And she finds something called a silent companion, which I guess was something that was considered popular in the Victorian era. It's basically like a cutout of a person, and this person mysteriously looks a lot like her. And I guess she thinks that the eyes are like watching her and shifting, and it sounds ghosty and creepy and fantastic. So I'm all about that. I think it'll be a good time. And that cover is gorgeous. There's been several different covers for this book, and they've all been so pretty. But I do really like that one. I think it's really, really nice. So it's supposed to be dark and eerie Victorian creepiness. What else could you want in life? All right, let's jump into some more middle grade. And this book is called The Ghost Road by Charis Cotter. I recently read a book by Charis Cotter called The Swallow, and it was a middle grade book story, a middle grade book ghost story. I'm sorry, I'm struggling with talking. Please forgive me. But I really loved it, and I was excited to hopefully read some more of Charis Cotter's work because I really enjoyed it. This one sounds like another ghost story as well. This is about two cousins who investigate their family's past involving ghosts, a family curse, and buried secrets. Sounds like a good time. Very mysterious. And it's a very like artsy looking cover. Pretty cool. So I'm excited to see some more ghosty Charis Cotter books. All right, we've got 3 more left. Another middle grade, which looks like a good time, and the cover looks creepy, is called The Mesmerist by Ronald L. Smith. In this book, we are following a mother and daughter duo that are sham spiritualists in Victorian London. Daughter finds that she really can speak to the dead. So originally, they think they're a sham. They're making people believe that they can talk to the dead, until the daughter realizes, oh snap, I can actually talk to the dead. And then get crazy and creepy. So, and also, look at that. Look at the Ouija board, the creepiness, the flames. Super spoopy. So, yes, it's going to be a good time. All right, I think this is my last middle grade in this list. And this one sounds like a good time as well because it's supposed to have Coraline Meets Stranger Things is what it said in the description. It is called 13s by Kate Alice Marshall. In this story, we're following 3 teens who attempt to break a centuries-old curse in their small town. Again, Coraline Meets Stranger Things, which sounds awesome. I am all about Stranger Things, and I really like Coraline, so I think it's going to be a good time. I think it's going to be spooky, and I love middle grades that kind of have like mystery type edge to it. It just makes it so fun. So I think that's going to be a good one as well. Lastly, this is a adult. I'm not sure if it's an adult or YA book, but this cover is amazing. If I can find it, there it is. It is called Prelude for Lost Souls by Helene Dunbar, and look at that. It's so pretty. I mean, my goodness. This is one of those books, though, I read the description and it intrigues me, but it's hard to explain. So I tried to write down a blurb that made sense. I wrote small town where most inhabitants make a living as mediums. and there's something to do with a famous pianist, but I didn't understand that part. So the description tells me a lot, but not a lot to where it makes sense, but it intrigues me. So I'm sorry I can't really explain this book any more than I just did because I don't fully understand it, but it sounds fascinating and the cover is fantastic. So I assume it's going to be really good. I don't know. But there you go. Those are all the books I have to recommend for today. Just some books that have caught my eye recently I added to my want to read list. I will list them all down below in the description, as well as the link to the past few want to read recent edition videos that I've done if you would like to check those out too and want some more suggestions of books maybe that you haven't heard of before. I'm hoping this list was fun for you. I hope it was helpful. I realize a lot of them have kind of like a spooky vibe to it. If you haven't been around my channel very much, those are the kind of books I really like to read. I love things that have to do with ghosts or spooky vibes, so I apologize if a lot of those felt kind of similar, but they're ones that I felt like I haven't really heard much about and could be a lot of fun. Please let me down below if you have read any of these books. I would love to hear your opinion if you thought they were good or not. But on this side of the video over here is my logo. If you click on that, you can subscribe to my channel and follow me on my book journey. I would love to have you here. On this side of the video over here is a suggestion for another video if you want to watch another one right now. But thank you so much for watching. You rock, and don't forget to keep reading. Bye.